So we've already done our search and export our file. Now we have the software open and we're ready to load in that export file and ready to make our pattern graphs. To do this, we're going to click Start here in the top ribbon. We're going to find where we saved that file to. We're going to open it. And then in a couple seconds, we're going to see a dialog box pop up that asks us to title this. Now, in this case, because we're looking for a standard subdivision, we want to make sure that the subdivision or neighborhood name is correct, and it is here, and the city is correct. If this wasn't, you go ahead and just type in here and change that. Then go ahead and click Done. And software will work and create all these pattern graphs for you automatically. Now, as a default, you'll see that the real estate review is open. What we're going to go ahead and do is move on from this, because in this case we're working on a new CMA and not doing real estate review. So we're going to navigate to the patterns area by clicking the button here in the ribbon that says patterns. Now you can see we see the odds of selling graph here. I'm actually going to click on the little negative sign down here just to zoom out a little bit so we can see the whole graph. And there we go. Now to use this area in the patterns here, we can navigate between the different pattern graphs by clicking on the tabs at the bottom, looking at the buying patterns, the time to close, and again back to the odds. Now, when we come to this, what we're going to really look at for the odds of selling is this number here. Really kind of looking at, what the chances are of this home selling and answering that key customer question of, will my house sell? Well, here's your probability or odds that it will sell. And 95% in this case is a super hot market. Really anything over 70% is kind of a hot market, but you'll see a variety of numbers here. And in the new CMA Mastery class, we do go over what those numbers mean and kind of what they can mean for your positioning later on. But just remember, you click on the patterns here, will open up this odds of selling, and then you can navigate between them at the bottom. The time to sell graph, you can see, plots the homes that have sold, the days that to closed, and then also the property price here of those homes that sold, as well as gives you a good, easy to see red line for the average days to close. This really helps us with timing and really helps us kind of combined with the buying pattern, see where we stand as far as if we list today, if we're hitting that active window or not. Just to show you what we mean by that buying pattern, this here is the neighborhood buying pattern. These columns here represent the number of homes that sold in those months. You can see January, February, etc. down the line here. And the blue area is when the most active or the highest number of homes sold are. So you can see that in this case, April through July was the most sales. You could maybe make an argument for August and September being a little tail end of July falling into there. But you can see that this case in this neighborhood, it really is one that kind of matches late spring through summer. Now these are great graphs to be able to show your customers and really answer those key questions of when is the best time to list my house for sale. If they have some flexibility, you might want to make sure you hit this window. How long should it take my house to sell, or how long should I expect before a contract comes in? In this case, you see at 40 days, it's probably in that first week that you're going to get an offer. And what are the odds that my house will sell, as well as if you want to look at the bottom here, if you are a person that likes absorption rate pricing, you can see the amount of inventory available. Now this really helps us as well when it comes to positioning, but for now, just know how to navigate this and read these graphs simply as the odds, the average time to sell, and the buying pattern. Now you might be asking, why is there 2 time to sell graphs or time to close graphs and 2 buying patterns? The reason for that is we like to look at the pattern and see if it's shifting. So for example, in this case, the buying pattern for this area, December had a little bit of a hot month here, but for most cases it was May through August. And again, this year it was April through July. So you can see it pretty much falls into that summer range as a good average pattern, and there hasn't been a major shift. There are times you'll see a big shift occur, and that's something that we'll have to take note of. The same thing can happen in the time to close. In this case though, we have 44 days and 40 days, meaning it's about average, and we can really expect that pattern to continue. There are times when things happen, whether it be economics-wise or use zoning-wise around the neighborhood, where you might see this number jump up or fall down. That's a really good thing to stay aware of. Now the other case we might see a second one, we might use an older one, is if, for example, we happen to create this graph and it's about 6 months into the year and we felt like it wasn't that accurate, we might go back to the other one and look at a full year's amount of data as opposed to just the 6 months that our switchover date was. But just like that, we've created our patterns by just uploading a file and letting it run. All we had to do then to navigate between them was click this patterns button again, and then use the tabs on the bottom to see this information.